So in a dry spell for Harry Potter news, we get some here and there, but nothing major as Dumbledore's first look, Snape's first look, Harry's first look. We haven't had Snape's first look, by the way, so don't think you missed it and just somehow haven't heard about it. You will hear about the first time we see Snape. But let's talk about all the little news that we've heard over the past couple weeks and some new stuff that we've heard this week. So first off, let's talk about some of the current news with the Audible full cast narrations coming out within the next week and a half as of recording this video. We got more announcements on the cast. One of the big notable announcements on this list is a returning Harry Potter alumni, Bill Nighy, who played Rufus Scrimgeour in Deathly Hallows Part 1, playing Professor Slughorn, which is an interesting choice. Those of you who are like, who's Bill Nighy? Like, what else has he been in? He was also Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. Doctor Who fans, he was in Vincent and the Doctor. He was the museum curator who talked about his love of Vincent van Gogh, or Gough, depending on where you're from. We also have David Holmes as Stan Shunpike and a host of other names. One name that you might be throwing around for clickbait headlines is Shape Dorisu, because he is a black man who is playing Sirius Black as a voice actor. But of course, the clickbait articles will probably be Sirius Black has been cast as a black man, another race swap character in Harry Potter. Don't pay attention to the clickbait, or more rage bait. He is playing a voice actor. All we will hear is his voice. Sirius Black has a deep, gravelly voice. Who better than a well-trained black actor who, in the history of actors, usually has a deeper voice? You know, Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. Another notable one is Michael Clarke, who played Kingpin in the Daredevil movie, but also was in quite a few movies as well. But that was the one that popped in my head, of him with a deep, gravelly voice. So in other news, that is the Audible book. Comes out in a week and a half. I will give you my review of the full cast audio. I don't really need to talk about the book. I'll just talk about how I felt listening to the book. It'll be my reaction after listening to it. Subscribe for that, because it'll be interesting. I'll do it each month, just my reaction to each full cast audio. It may take a little bit longer each time because it'll take longer to listen to those books, but we will have it out as soon as I finish listening to it. Other leaked news is the Diagon Alley set and maybe Godric's Hollow have been leaked, because there are things in Godric's Hollow that are talked about and are showing up in this street set that look eerily like what we've seen, which is one of the things that I talked about, is film the scene of Voldemort killing the Potters, and maybe just throughout the series reveal more and more of it in Harry's flashback of his vision of Voldemort. But if you film it all at once and just keep it throughout the season and let it look better and better each time, it might work. But we might just see it straight up at the beginning of the series. Just episode 1, we see Voldemort walking down the street, knocking on the door, and then we see that whole day, all the things that Dumbledore's doing, just like, hey, listen, Flamel, we need to hide the Sorcerer's Stone. Voldemort might try to use it. We're going to put it in Gringotts until I hear a rumbling that he may try to steal it. And just have all of these moments where, you know, Dumbledore putting his pieces in place, so if Voldemort returns, he's ready. We also may be doing the same thing that was done in the Harry Potter movies, is the set for Hogsmeade was used multiple times to represent multiple locations. You may not have noticed it, but Hogsmeade was filmed for Godric's Hollow, just from different angles with different set dressings, but it was the same set of buildings in both scenes. It was also used in Half-Blood Prince for when Harry and Dumbledore go to visit Slughorn. So they may be making it Godric's Hollow now, but in 2 years, it may be Hogsmeade. So just they're building very permanent sets that are going to last them for 10 years. We also got our first look at what Diagon Alley is going to look like, and the main thoroughfare for Diagon Alley, I think, is exactly what we were hoping it would look like. And I think answers the question with the Hogwarts Express being released and this Diagon Alley set being released. It answers the question that a lot of us had, was how much are they going to change the silhouettes? And Diagon Alley has changed slightly compared to what it originally looked like, but that's fine. What it is when you look at it and then you look at Diagon Alley at Universal, you're not like, these are two totally different places. The new Diagon Alley looks like the old Diagon Alley just enough that it's like, that's Diagon Alley at first glance. You know, that's Diagon Alley. It's not just, that's a different place. So that's cool. I think they're eventually going to have to release the silhouette of the castle, but they might wait until the first trailer, which we're not getting for at least another 8 months. And finally, we had Johnny Flynn in an interview, the actor who's playing Lucius Malfoy, Malfoy talk about how he has already filmed his first scene, and it was amazing. He talked about how he was a huge Harry Potter fan, and he was just saying, I filmed my first scene already. It was great, which sparked some conversation of what was his scene. Did we see a scene of him trying to cover his tracks as being a Death Eater? Did we just see him not interacting with Harry, but maybe more of a building of dynamic between Lucius and Draco, and maybe even Narcissa, because we do meet Narcissa in the first book in Madame Malkin's. We never meet Lucius until we see him in Borgin and Burke's and Chamber of Secrets. So are we seeing more of a dynamic with the Malfoys? Are the Malfoys going to be slightly bigger characters throughout the series because of the role they play at the end? We want to see that, Lucius is a caring father, but just kind of an asshole. We'll see. I think they're going to show more of like the Malfoy family loves their son. Lucius and Narcissa Malfoy love their son and will do whatever it takes to keep him happy. Not keep him happy, that makes him sound like a brat. He is a brat, but to give him a happy life and keep him safe and protected and try to keep him away from the life that Voldemort brought. They teach him the pureblood ideals, of course, but, maybe have a tendency of being like, I don't want to be a Death Eater son, to eventually make it a heartbreaking moment when he accepts becoming a Death Eater in season 6 or wherever it is. But that's it. That is the news for October. They'll probably announce something major at the end of the month. They do that, especially if I film a video. So if they do that, look forward to another video from me. Surprise. But if not, make sure to like and subscribe so that if we do get any news, you'll know, and because I'll post on it. So without further ado, stay marvelous, Nox.